The S.H.Figuarts Super Saiyan 4 Goku is now the most sought-after figure on the S.H.Figuarts market, with it achieving the most amount of pre-orders ever after its release. But does this figure hold up to its expectations, or does it let us down? Find out right now in this figure review. What's going on, guys? This is Starblast Studios coming here with a brand new figure review, and today, guys, we're going to be taking a look at the new S.H.Figuarts Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku. Now, as you guys may know, I usually start off my review with the figures being displayed inside of the box, which if you do want to go ahead and see the box, let me go ahead and show it to you real quick. Just here's the front of the box. Here's the side of the box with more art of the Goku. Here's the back of the box with more of the images of Goku. I said art for some reason. Here's the side. Here's the bottom of the box, which you have the screaming Goku. And here's the top. So that's pretty much it for the box, if you wanted to actually, get a good look at it. But we're not even here for the box. Today we're going to be taking a look at this figure, which is, of course, the main component of this entire review. This is the reason why you clicked on this figure review. So let's go ahead and get to the point of this. This figure is one that a lot of people have been heavily anticipating in the entire S.H.Figuarts line, mainly because Super Saiyan 4 Goku has been a heavily demanded figure since they released the prototype of it at the, on one of the booths that Tamashii Nations made, almost half a decade back, and that had a completely different look for the Super Saiyan 4 Goku. The prototype was much different, and honestly, this one here looks a lot better, as I can definitely, confidently say, when it comes to this figure. And of course, since this figure is already out of the box, what would we do without going over the beautiful sculpting that is all around this thing? Look at the actual hair, how the hair is just completely uniformed in such a way where it matches the way that Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And another cool detail with the hair is that it moves around over here so that it gets out of the way if you need any space for the articulation. Looking around, it looks incredibly accurate, very, very well done, and very accurate to Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Love how this thing is coming out. And I guess for what we're looking at the back of the hair too, there's also some joints in there so that you can sort of raise this up and get some more articulation out of Goku when he looks up. That is incredibly good engineering that we have in the hair first and foremost. That is beautiful right there. For some other sculpted details we obviously have the fur, which is a staple part of Super Saiyan 4 Goku's form, and it's done very, very well all across it. One thing that other figures from different companies like Dragon Stars and Figuarts did not do was actually sculpt the fur that goes around the front of the hand, and obviously S.H.Figuarts has done it, and it has come out really, really well. I think that is one of the coolest parts of the Super Saiyan 4 transformation. Just that little bit of detail adds in a lot to it. It's not the coolest part of the transformation, let me take that back, but it does add in more to the form if you ask me. When it comes to the pants, we do have a newer sculpted mold. It is fortunately for us not the same exact mold as we have previously gotten multiple times with the Saiyan Rays on Earth Goku sculpt, and it is just completely original, obviously because of the fact that Goku in GT has completely different pants. He has new shoes on as well. There is a little bit of shading all around it, but not too much where I feel like it's completely noticeable. But the way you can tell that there is shading there is because it's kind of darker over here on the front where you can see some brighter aspects, and then when you look at the back, well, there's not really very much shading left. So that's how you kind of can tell that there's shading, but it's very subtle. It's not too crazy, but it's just like, it's right there. And I guess considering the fact that they don't really put shading throughout very many of their Dragon Ball figurines nowadays, other than their cooler, it kind of has to be like this in order for it to match with the rest of the line. And now when looking at the feet, it does have the really cool Dragon Ball GT boots that Goku does wear, so this is really cool. I'm honestly really liking the sculpting this. Oh, and let me go ahead and talk about the tail. Look at how the tail comes out of there. Now, unfortunately, because of the way that they sculpted the back of the figure, Goku's rear does look like it's a little bit strange. That part is very weirdly sculpted, but I guess it was because they were trying to figure out newer ways to make it so that the tail can fit without hindering any articulation. But I feel like they really could have engineered this a little bit better so it doesn't leave so many gaps right over here from looking to the side. But that's just really nitpicking at this point, if you ask me. But that, and when it comes to the actual movement of the figure, you can kind of see there is a little bit of a swivel right there. It's not true articulation, but it's just part of what happens with the separation of the parts in the mold. And it's not really supposed to do that, but again, it's not too big of a deal. It actually reminds me a little bit of the Imagination Works Goku, which is something that someone else in a review of this figure mentioned, which I can't unsee it anymore, so I'm just going to mention it over here in this review. But yeah, it does look pretty good when it comes to the actual sculpt of the figure. I'm really loving the way that this has turned out. Now, comparing this to other Goku figures from different lines that I currently own, here it is standing right next to the Dragon Star Super Saiyan 4 Goku, as well as the Figuarts Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And just looking at the comparison between the two, this is clearly, the S.H.Figuarts one is clearly the most definitive Super Saiyan 4 Goku that we have. We do have a couple of height differences, which is as a result of the figures being from a few separate lines. I think Dragon Star's, in this case, just being a little bit taller, I think for whatever reason, and honestly, I don't know why he's a little bit taller, because he's in the same scale. And then Figuarts is a more 7-inch scale line, so it's understandable why he would be a little bit taller. So, you know, it is what it is right there, but honestly, it's like there is no comparison when it comes to it. Just like looking at the Super Saiyan 4 Goku, I think this one has been the definitive Super Saiyan 4 Goku before the Figuarts one came out. And looking at it right now, it does not quite hold up as well. Like looking at the Figuarts, it does have its charm, and it does look really, you know, and it does have its fun factor to it. But this is clearly the most definitive one we're gonna get, and this is probably going to be the best Super Saiyan 4 Goku figure we will ever get, at least for some time. Now, when it comes to his facial expressions, we do get a stern face. We do also get a really nice smirking face, which is probably my favorite facial expression. We also get a teeth-gritted looking to the side facial expression. And then we also get a beautiful looking screaming face, which I think that this screaming face looks very similar to the full Dookie Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Saiyan Goku, but it doesn't have all of those crazy qualities of it where it's just like it doesn't look bad. In this case, I think it looks really good. It's just that the angles, that the way that they did the face does look, you know, very interesting. But I think for Super Saiyan 4 Goku specifically, it matches. But another similarity that this figure does have to the full Dookie Super Saiyan Goku is that it is made in Vietnam, and there is a couple of issues that I'm having with this figure as a result of the QC, which is common when you get a figure from Vietnam. So one of the QC issues I'm having is a lot of the faces are a lot more glossy when you actually are using them. So if you actually see these the teeth gritted face, you can see a lot more reflection coming off of the face, making it look like he has sunscreen on it. When comparing it to the skin tone on his pecs, there's no gloss on there whatsoever, and that's just something that I noticed when, you know, handling the figure, the way that they painted it off. It's just like, I really wish that they would have, you know, made it different. And if you actually want to know how to interchange the face, you just basically take off the front piece of the hair right there, and then you want to take off the front piece right there, which does have a different peg system than all of the other Goku, so you're not going to be able to do quite as many facial expressions as you may have wanted to between all the other Goku figures, which, not sure why you'd want to do that anyway, but probably just more for playability factor. And then obviously you just plug another one of the faces, you just throw that right in there, and throw the hair piece right on, and there you go. Unfortunately, another similarity that this figure has to the full Dookie Super Saiyan Goku is the roughness of the hand switching system. So the hands are very difficult to actually go ahead and interchange. Like, you can move them around fairly decently. There's no really problems right there with the articulation. It's just when it comes to actually pulling off the hands, I've talked about this on my stream on Instagram. It is a very difficult hand to actually go ahead and interchange, and multiple times I've had to just like, okay, there we go. There's a lot of force that is required to take off the hands, and it feels like it's going to break, but I don't think it really is, because if you look at the actual pegs, if this camera will go ahead and focus, there's not really any stress marks going on over there. The plastic does seem to be very firm, but just something to be very careful of when you're going ahead and doing. But like for some other hands that this figure comes with, obviously you had the fist that it came out with, and then you do get a pair of open palm style hands. Just get this right on there. My gosh, that is just really rough. I still can't believe that they are having this type of issue. It's one of the most annoying things that I've had, and I really wish that on all of the figures it wouldn't have been on this one. I really wish that the quality control issues would have been taken a lot more seriously when it came to this, because this is a figure that people have been asking for a very long time. This is people's dream S.H.Figuarts, and the fact that it's having this many QC issues, and there is one more bigger one that I will get into a little bit later. But yeah, it is really frustrating that people are going to be having this. So just be very wary about that. But to get through the rest of the hands, we do get the pair of open palm type hands, which I will show you here. I'll show you the other one in a second. Here it is right over here for this figure. And I guess, you know what, I was going to interchange all of the hands on this thing through each and every single thing, but I might as well just show you all of the hands. So the other hands that we do get is a pair of instant transmission type hands, which, or, you know, you can be solar flare type of hands, whatever you want to use them for. They're still really well done hands. They are a little bit more glossy, just like the facial expressions, but not too glossy like the full Dookie Super Saiyan Goku. We also get a pair of posed martial arts types of hands, which does look pretty nice as well. The camera will focus on it. That would be really nice. There we go. That's a little bit better. And then we do get a pair of blasting Kamehameha type of hands as well. And then we also get a pair of other Kamehameha hands which have a peg in there, which is for the Kamehameha effect piece, which you can just pretty much pose Goku charging the Kamehameha, and this is one of the coolest Kamehameha effect pieces I think we have. I really like the way that the strands of energy are sculpted in such a way where it almost looks kind of cubic. It gives the Kamehameha, I think, a much more unique look, and also I really like that there's a much more open area right over here for him to set his hand on and not have to like finagle the beams throughout the fingers or anything like that. That's going to make posing the actual things really cool. You can just go ahead and see that with that hole right over there, you can just take this hand and plug that right in there. So yeah, there we go. Fairly simple, fairly easy to do. Really like how this system is working right now. Now for some size comparison, here it is standing next to a figure that has stood the test of time, the Awakening Super Saiyan Goku, as well as the Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku. And if you want to know why this figure is holding on to a microphone, you guys better make sure to watch my top 10 figures of 2021 when that video drops. Go and yeah, for the other size comparison figures that we got, here it is standing right next to the Super Saiyan God Vegeta as well as the AF Toys Omega Shenron. I have not touched this thing in a really long time. Wow, and looking at it side by side, I really like the scaling. Hopefully, if we get an actual Omega Shenron figure, it looks a lot better than this, but still really good scaling. I really hope S.H.Figuarts makes an actual Omega Shenron. Now for the articulation, this is where the figure really does impress me, but it does also show where we have the final major QC issue that we're having as a result of this being made in Vietnam. So let's go ahead and go over it bit by bit. I did mention this at the beginning of the review. The hair does go back so you can make him look up, and you can make him look fairly far down as well. If you do want to have the hair not be out as much when he's looking down, you can just bring it down like that, and boom, it looks a lot more natural like that. Really love the engineering on here. And just so you guys can see, you can actually interchange the head, which is something that everyone would want to do on the Goku figures. And you can, as you can see right over here, it is functioning with a double ball peg, which makes this figure give this figure a lot more articulation. I really wish that they would use double ball pegs a lot more often. And because of it, usually you can just get in a lot more range with this figure. It looks really, really nice. I do really enjoy the engineering factor that this figure provides. You do get a really good butterfly joint on this figure as well. You can make the arm go out really, really far. You can get him crossed arms. Lots of really good articulation out of that. And thankfully, we're not dealing with the crazy butterfly joint issues that we would have with the Goku figures, where they would, you'd have like the skin tone underneath the clothes, because we're not going to have any of that with Goku just being all fur. There's no way they can make that mistake anymore. So really, really nice about that. You do get a bicep swivel right over here. You do get a double jointed arm. And for this arm, you do pretty much get the exact same as well. It does go full 360, but one QC issue I'm having that does really hurt the figure for me is when I'm just trying to get this thing to go up, and the arm just goes back down. You can see right here, it's just there's something that is really loose in there in the actual figure, and that right there is really frustrating, because I would be trying to pose this guy doing a Kamehameha or something, and then you would just if I'd have it posed in a certain angle, the arm would just fall over, and this was an absolute pain in the rear to actually go ahead and get poses with. So that is just really, really frustrating. It's just more of that Vietnam quality control issues, which I'm really, really hating. So I'm probably going to get another Super Saiyan 4 Goku just so I can test out if there's any other QC issues, because I've been, based on the information provided from other people, not a lot of others are having the exact same QC issues, but it's very different. I'm the only person that I know who has this issue currently right now, but other people are having issues that where they're unable to move out the hair, or the hair from the back over here would just completely fall out. It's very different. So if you're getting this figure, do go ahead and be wary of any potential QC issues that I'm not even going to be able to catch on here in this review. The actual hands are working on the ball hinge system, and they swivel around. You know exactly how these work. For the torso, you can get in crouching, not too far forward, but pretty decently back. It's not too far back either, but just as much articulation as you would need. You do have a really nice waist swivel right over here. It does actually, and yeah, you're also getting a little bit more of the ab stuff working in there as well. And then for the tail, looking at the back, you do get a ball hinge, which lets you move the tail around right there as much as you would need. Really nice work on the actual tail right there. The legs do kick out forward this much. They don't kick out too much because of the kick back too much because of the way that the pants is sculpted, which is really unfortunate. But one thing that this Goku can do really well is the splits. If I can just get this working right, I guess that's another small QC issue that we're having right there with the way that the legs are. It's just you're not getting as much range right there. Okay, there we go. So yeah, Goku can pretty much Jean-Claude Van Damme it. Yes, that's right. I'm doing Daredevil 19's thing since he's taking a break from YouTube right now. We do get a thigh swivel right over here as well. We do have the double jointed knees as well, which this is the probably the best double jointed knee system that we've gotten on any Goku figure up to date. Actually, maybe this Super Saiyan Goku probably still has the best one. So second best, just because this one is still doesn't have any of the problems with gapping with the way that they did the sculpting on there. But I guess for a Goku figure with pants, this right here is the best that we currently got. And then for the feet, we do have you do have some swivel right over there. And it does go down, of course, you know, and then you do get a little bit of ankle pivot. Not too much, but, you know, a lot more than you would usually get on your typical Goku figures. And then you do get the toe articulation. So really, really good articulation on this figure. It's just a lot of the QC figures, I think, overall hold this figure back, I think, from being, like, the best. It's just, again, this has so much more potential. If there wasn't any QC issues, like everything that has been done in this figure has clearly been done with so much care. The sculpting, the articulation, the engineering in the hair. There's just so much that I think there is to love about this figure. It's just the QC issues really do bring it down, and that is one thing that is just really unfortunate to me when it comes to the Super Saiyan 4 Goku. But I still have to highly recommend picking this thing up, no matter, you know, what kind of QC issues you might have, because a lot of the stuff do outweigh the quality control issues in some ways, but in other ways the QC issues does, you know, hurt the figure a lot. But that has been my review of the Super Saiyan 4 Goku figure. What do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comment sections down below, which I hope you guys did enjoy this figure review. I will see you guys down in the comment section. Until then.